Fuck it, we'll just settle for, I don't know, 20. Oh, hi, boils and ghouls. All right, so welcome to another TUBI horror recommendations for your hump day. We made it halfway through the week, and if you got no one to fuck, these are a whole bunch of horror movies that are on TUBI that you can watch tonight to relax during your midweek. There's going to be a lot of them this time. I compiled a few of them, and I have done videos on many of these. So if you have seen them, go check some of those out. But if you haven't seen any of these, spend your hump day night alone watching these movies. All right, now the years, I know most years for most of these movies, but there's some that, like on Tubi and with a lot of movies, you see it's either 1 year or the next year. So some of the years might be off, but whatever. Train from 2009 with Thora Birch. This is a good movie. There's pretty good gore effects in here. She ends up, I think it's a wrestling team, right? And they end up going on like a Russian tour, and they end up getting on this train suggested by this stranger, and not good things happen to them. Very underrated movie. You don't hear about it often, but it's definitely worth a watch. So check out Train from 2009, 2008. This is one of those. This movie is a guilty pleasure of mine. I've seen this movie countless times. My sister also adores this movie. Would You Rather from 2012 with Jeffrey Combs, the iconic Jeffrey Combs. This might be my second favorite performance by him next to Reanimator. I think he does such a great job in this movie as just this rich, snobby asshole. And we have Brittany Snow, we have Ricky from Trailer Park Boys. There's a lot of people. Sasha Grey, the former porn star, that'll bring memories back for some. But they get invited to a dinner party where they have to play a game of Would You Rather, but it's a very torturous game of it, eliminating players as it goes. And whoever wins, they get every financial or whatever issues they have in life fixed. The company, this corporation will take care of it, and they'll have no worries. So you got to be the last one standing. Such a great movie. It's been getting more love over the years, but I'll plug it in any chance I get. So Would You Rather from 2012. Great film. The score is very good in that too. Underrated score. Speaking of underrated scores, and like I said, these videos, who knows who sees them? So I mean, a lot of people, you guys who watch often and our fellow horror fanatics, some of these you've definitely seen and are classics, but who knows who sees these and who hasn't seen these. But speaking of underrated scores, the one I just brought up yesterday and posted a cover of it, Tourist Trap from 1979. This is just one of my favorite 70s slashers, favorite 70s movies. It is so out there. It's so unsettling, like in a very eerie, creepy way. Like, this movie is fucking creepy. The sound design is excellent. Are you serious? It's about this tourist trap, on the side of a highway. Stop. Hey, space alien crash site. Stop and get some roast beef sandwiches, whatever. Like when you're traveling in the United States. So these group of friends, their car breaks down, and they end up at this tourist trap with this person played by Chuck Connors, Mr. Slauson, who owns this like mannequin museum. If you don't like mannequins, you're gonna fucking hate mannequins at the end of this movie. The effects are great in this. I can't say enough about this movie. I did a whole video on it. Tourist Trap, 1979. Always will throw in a plug for that one too. Now, this is a movie that I never hear brought up, and it's a fucking crime, because this, I think, is such an underrated possession flick. And it's The Shrine from 2010. It has, I forget the main actress's name. No one I've ever really seen again. But it has Aaron Ashmore in it. I'm pretty sure it's Aaron, and it's one of the Ashmores. The main character, she's a journalist, and she ends up taking, like her understudy and person who works with her and her boyfriend, Aaron Ashmore, to this place in Poland to try to figure out what happened to this missing kid. And they find in this Polish village this static fog that's just lingering there and never moves, like just in the forest. And it's very effective, the visuals in this movie. And then they go into the fog and they see this Pazuzu-like statue. It looks awesome though. And then things don't turn out well. Such an underrated movie, and this movie was just slept on completely when it came out. It just came and went, and I guess the few of us who really, really enjoyed it Still talking about it. So if you haven't seen The Shrine and you're into demonic possession. All right, to the 80s. So the last horror film from 1981, or Fanatic as it's called. If you've seen Maniac from 1980, it's a fucking classic. Speaking of that, Maniac, every time that comes up, this will come up on Tubi. They have the Maniac remake with Elijah Wood from 2012. If you haven't seen the remake of Maniac and you're a fan of the original, watch it. Pick that movie for tonight. I'm telling you, it's one of the greatest remakes ever made. Not just a horror remake ever. It is a work of art. It is brilliant. I don't know how they did some of the kills and effects in this movie. It's how good that it looks in this film. So, and Elijah Wood's performance, it's all 99% from his perspective. So it's first person POV the entire time. Masterpiece. So check out the Maniac remake from 2012 if you haven't seen that. But if you've seen Maniac and you love Joe Spinell and you haven't seen the last horror film, this is one you should watch. I think Spinell's performance in this is even better than in Maniac. And I mean, Spinell is just such a great actor, man, and The Godfathers and everything that he's been in. And it's such a shame that he died, not as late as he could have. Because I would love to have seen more films from him. The Undertaker from 1990 or something, it was released after he died. That's another one. Pretty sure it's on Tubi. Check that one out. Don't got a picture though. For found footage fans, The Conspiracy from 2012. This is a fun one. If you're into conspiracy theories, and even if you're not a found footage fan, this will also probably work for you. Just about these two people who meet this crazy guy who seems crazy at first and ends up telling them about this whole government conspiracies that he's been looking into forever, and the government's after him, and then it just starts to unravel and just go down the rabbit hole for these two guys. Very underrated found footage film. Another found footage movie, and this is just always to throw in a plug for my boy Aaron. His film Chest 2022. It's on Tubi. He actually just made a sequel to it, a meta sequel, Jeffrey's Hell. He sent me the early draft of it. I actually, Harry, if you ever see this, I watched it. I started watching. I was talking to him while I was watching it, like messaging him through Instagram. And then it was not the movie, I swear. I just was exhausted. I passed out. But I got to rewatch it, Aaron. So I'm going to put out a video teaser about that, like when I get around to rewatching it, which should be soon. But Chest, if you're into urban legends, folklore, and how they evolve, and mythology, and all that type of stuff, all of that's in there too. It's very low budget. It's his first film, but what he did with that budget, he worked with his budget extremely well. I love all the characters. The acting's pretty damn good throughout most of it. And it's just a very, very fun film that I guess just hit me at the right time in the right way on the first watch that I really enjoyed this. So give Chest from 2022 a shot. This is another one with the years. I'm pretty sure it was made in 2008, released in 2008, wherever it's from. I forgot what country it's from. Is it Canadian? Alexi would know this because he told me about this movie and I couldn't remember where I heard this film from. Because I've heard of it and I never saw it. Someone brought it up last year, like a while ago. And then I ended up seeing it maybe a few months ago. And it's fantastic. And that's The Children from 2008 or 2009, whatever. This movie, like with any type of movies where kids get hurt, it's a plus around this channel. If they're killer children, of course. But over like this Christmas or New Year's get together with these two families, they each have two kids, or one is 3, one is 2, something. It doesn't matter. They have a group of kids, and some type of disease or virus, bacteria, it's not really explained fully, doesn't need to be, infects these kids, and they end up causing a lot of bodily harm to people. It's a great movie. There's some disturbing stuff in here. Definitely check out The Children if you love like killer evil children movies, or if you just fucking hate children. Now, again, for horror lovers, this should be just a no-brainer. I've seen it a million times type movie. But if you haven't seen it and you're a slasher fan, The Burning from 1981, this is just in my top 5 or so slasher films like ever made. We have Tom Savini's amazing effects in this. We have Cropsy, the killer, and his garden shears, which is just such a cool killing utensil. And it's a crime we never got a sequel to this. And we got, what, 13 going on, whatever. Friday the 13th sequels. Never got a Burning 2. But The Burning from 1981, great cast in this too. You have Helen Hunt, a young Helen Hunt. You have a young Jason Alexander, almost a George from Seinfeld, and he kills it comedic wise in this early role. You could tell he would have been a star just from watching this movie. You have what the hell's his name? Ratner from Fast Times. There's a lot of young first few roles or first roles for some of these actors in this movie. So The Burning, great movie. If you're like me and you don't really care for Prom Night, which Jamie Lee Curtis, it's all right. I've never been a favorite slasher of mine. I much prefer Prom Night 2, Hello, Mary Lou from 1987. If you haven't seen the sequel to Prom Night, watch this movie. Give it a chance. It's very cheesy. It's very campy. It's ridiculous, but it has cool effects. It has cool visuals. I just like it a lot more. I don't know. There's more going on. And I don't know, Prom Night, the original, the pacing is a little slow at times for me. Same with The Prowler. There's another one. If you haven't seen The Prowler, watch it. It's great just for the effects. Some of Savini's best work. But half-hour stretches of nothingness like happening, really. It's the same thing with this movie here, with Prom Night, the original. But it doesn't have Savini's amazing kills in it, so it makes it even less of a good slasher for me. This is much more fun. So if you haven't seen Prom Night 2, Hello, Mary Lou, check it out. All right, for some people who love Italian horror or trying to get into it, Bruno Mattei's Hell of the Living Dead, or I think it was also had many titles, like all these Italian movies, Night of the Zombies. I'm pretty sure Virus was another one, but I could be wrong on that, from 1980. Bruno Mattei, I'm not the biggest fan. I haven't seen like a lot of his movies, but I've seen maybe 5, something like that. He's always kind of talked of as the discount Lucio Fulci, which Fulci was kind of always the Italian discount Romero. So after Zombie from Fulci came in 1979, Bruno Mattei followed with Hell of the Living Dead in 1980. And this is a great zombie film too. Just that's all you need to know. No, Hell of the Living Dead. What the hell you think it's about? Go check it out. It's a great Italian horror film. All right. Since I just did Scarface by De Palma, De Palma's Carrie, great classic. But I've never loved it. Now, I'm not saying this is a better version or anything like that. But if you're a fan of Carrie, if you love that movie, and you haven't seen Carrie from 2002, the TV movie with Angela Bettis, check it out, because first of all, I love Angela Bettis. She's so quirky, she's so awkward, but she's adorable. She the same year she was in May from 2002 as well. If you haven't seen May, it's also on Tubi. Excellent film also. But check out Carrie from 2002. The 2012 one, I don't even remember what's her name, Chloe Moretz or whatever her name is, Chloe Grace Moretz. I don't remember it, but this one's good. The 2002 one. It's watchable, and there's some good moments. So check it out. If you got weird shit planned for later tonight, and you love Nicolas Cage acting Nicolas Cagey, check out Mandy from 2018. Now it's on Tubi now. This is a weird ass movie. This is a trippy film. Like, you better have LSD handy or something for tonight, because that's the type of headspace you need to be in for this movie. It's very surreal. There's a lot of amazing lighting and color work and everything. This movie looks phenomenal. Cinematography wise, like it's brilliant. Nicolas Cage, he's not in it fully, so don't like go in thinking this is all Nicolas Cage. It's more his wife gets sucked into this cult, and it's more focused on her, and then he has to come save the day later on. But great movie. So Mandy from 2018 with Nicolas Cage. If you like little vampiric babies, but they're not a vampire, or I don't know how to describe it, but Grace from 2009. This is a great movie too. This is a very underrated film also. You don't hear people talk about Grace often. This is about this woman who is pregnant. She's in an accident. She should have lost the baby. They said that it's dead, but she has to carry it to term inside her. And when it comes out, it's alive, but it has a craving for blood. And that's all you have to know. Great stuff. This it can make you squeamish in some areas of this film, but like I said, such an undertalked, underseen, underrated movie. Check out Grace from 2009. All right, if you're in the mood for a monster movie, creature feature, like spectacular, spend your night watching all three Feast films. No, we have Feast from 2005. It was Ben Affleck had that show. Was it Matt Damon also? I don't remember. I think maybe, but whatever. Had that show Project Greenlight back in the 2000s that they would show how to make a movie, and whatever movie wins, it would be released in theaters and as an actual movie. And Feast was made this way. Now, these people are trapped in a bar. This movie's ridiculous. It's out there. There's title cards coming up, giving you short little funny bios of each character as they introduce them. The monsters in this series, they're horny. They love killing people. They every type of slime, liquid, any type of bodily fluid that you can imagine is sprayed and blown and chunked and all over the place throughout these movies. It's a blast. So Feast, Feast 2, Sloppy Seconds, and what's the third one? So tagline, Feast 3, The Happy Finish or something. I think it's The Happy Finish. Watch those three movies. First one's the best, but 2 and 3 are much more ridiculous, but the whole series is very fun. For a monster movie, check it out. If you like some Lovecraft, we all know Reanimator and From Beyond and Castle Freak. If you haven't seen Dagon from 2001 by Stuart Gordon, also written by Dennis Paoli, who's wrote all those aforementioned movies, check it out. This is based on the Dunwich Horror by Lovecraft, and just another great film collaboration between Gordon and Paoli. Like, no complaints, great Lovecraft movie. So Dagon. I always try to plug this movie also because I think it's another underrated, under-talked about film. This is based off a short film from 2008 and then made into a feature film in 2012. Now, the short film's good, but the performances just blow it away in the movie. And that's Excision from 2012. With Annalyn McCord, who is gorgeous. I mean, they make her down a lot completely in this movie, but gorgeous woman, and her performance in this movie, and Tracy Lords, former porn star and musician, and she's went on to do great roles after her early career in porn. I think her performance and Annalyn's, both of their performances, is some of the best performances is the 2010s for me. Like, especially the ending of this movie, it hits you so hard. It's about this girl who's having these weird dreams, teenager. She's coming, into her body and everything like that, but she's having these like weird, twisted dreams, bathing in blood and stuff like that. And she wants to be a surgeon, yet she has no training at all in any type of medical field or anything like that. Has no plans to. She just wants to dive right in, get her hands dirty. And her sister has cystic fibrosis, so it's sad, and she's going to die eventually. And the mom, by Tracy Lord, she's very overbearing and trying to raise her two daughters right. And the other guy, I forget his name. He's in it too. He's great though. Also has one of the best, in my opinion, ending songs. Not a score, but an actual song for a film. Like, it fits so perfectly after the ending of this movie, and that song that comes on, love it. So Excision from 2012. All right, guys, hopefully you haven't seen some of those and some sound interesting, and you can check them out tonight for your hump day. This has been number 2 of TUBI horror recommendations for your hump day. Take care, everybody.